Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the SH Figuarts 1P EUSTASS Kid from the Raid on Onigashima. And this line has been plagued with problems. There have been a couple of solid enough releases, but most of them have been significantly flawed, if not outright bad and disappointing. This figure at least looks great. It looks wonderful, so I'm hoping there's more to come that's good with this guy rather than bad. But we're going to talk about all of it, the good and the bad. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure though, I do want to show you my package, and it is a usual package. I think the one-piece packaging is just wonderful. You get a nice photo or two here on the side, big window with side and top opening. You get the map, background, and some more photos around. It's your standard Figuarts packaging, but you do get that map and the one-piece hat, or the Luffy hat up there. I like it. I like it a bunch. This one happens to look particularly nice, so that's good. Though with the red background, his cape and hair do kind of just blend in. I like contrast, but who am I? Anyway, let's go ahead and look at the actual figure and see if it's any good. Now, I want to do two things. First, I want to do a question of the day, and that is, are you guys done with the One Piece line because of all the failures, or are you still holding out hope? Are you still collecting them because at least mostly they look good, or where do you fall? What's your stance? I'm still collecting them because One Piece is my favorite, and at least they mostly look really good. Like this guy, for instance, he looks great, so as long as I can get him on the shelf, I'll be okay with it. Personally, but that doesn't mean it's going to get a good review. And then the second thing is, I'll let you know it's in stock at Big Bad Toy Store, so if it turns out you do want to get one, I'll have a link in the description below for you to do that. Alright, this guy stands just about 17.5 centimeters, not counting his hair spikes. That's going to make him just about, well, we'll call it 7 inches. So he's got some size to him. We'll do a couple of quick comparisons so you can see. Alright, first we have Darwin. There you go, he's bigger than Darwin, so he's got some size, he's got some height and some girth. And then here he is up against Luffy, because that's a relevant thing. Luffy comes up to about his shoulders, so he's pretty big. He's a big guy. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the aesthetic. I have to say, it looks really good, not counting articulation issues. We'll get into that in a minute, but it does look good. The pants are done surprisingly well, considering that that's all sculpted and painted, so that's nice. The belt is super clean. The skin tone is nice. He's probably washed out a little bit. There we go, you can see that. Skin tone is nice. It's a nice finish. I don't think there's shading in there. I don't see any, but you do see some of the detail paint work for like scars and things, and then the text stuff in there. That's good. You can see on this arm. Nice sculpted and painted scars. Then the face is really well done. The one thing Bandai has been doing consistently lately is nailing faces. They look really, really, really good. So I like that a whole lot. We're going to go ahead and drop it down like that. And yeah, it looks great. I do think he needs some more shading, but the paint that's there is nice and clean. The robot arm definitely could look a little bit better. It's alright, like it's not going to hurt anything. It's fine, it's metallic enough, but I think it could have a little bit of shading on there or something to bring it to life. And then we have the jacket, just like, who was it, Law or Kaido? Was it both of them? They both had this sort of thing, I believe. His isn't as bad as the others. Like, the sculpt is still nice. I get that they had to do it out of PVC in order to get all these little things to be made properly, but it is heavy as you could possibly imagine. It is so freaking heavy. Like, there is no way you're going to be able to put him in good poses with this thing, and it doesn't come off of him. So, we'll get into the accessories, but they do give you a display stand to help hold him up. It's really not even enough, because this cape weighs more than the rest of the figure. It is massively heavy, considering that it is basically solid PVC. But we'll get into the articulation and whatnot. It does look good, so I'll give him that. The only thing this thing's really lacking is shading, and then the neck looks weird. But we'll get into that too for the articulation. So I'm going to give it an overall I'm going to give it an aesthetic rating of 8. It looks really good. On a shelf, this guy's going to look wonderful. Very nicely done, not perfect. For accessories, you do get some interchangeable faces. You get the big open mouth smiling one that comes on him in the package. Then you get the normal smiling one, the teeth gritted one, and then the yelling one. Those all look excellent. You get the anime face, that whatever that is, and then you also get another face for Luffy. That's pretty cool. For his right hand, you get the fist hand on him in the package, and then a variety of other style pose hands. That's pretty good. And then lastly, you get the display stand to try to hold him up because he's poorly balanced. That's okay for accessories. That's nothing special, so I will go just 6 out of 10. I don't think that's enough. Maybe 7. I guess you could do 7. We have 5 faces and extra hands. Okay, fine, 7. But I would like some more. Alright, time for the articulation. We'll talk about the coat first. You get ball hinges up here, double ball hinge down here, and that's it. It moves around, but it's just so... like it's... I guess it's... What else are you going to do? I don't know. It's not really their fault that they have to do these crazy designs, but it's so heavy that I really wish they came up with another way to do it. I don't think soft goods is the answer for a coat that looks like this guy's. It's going to look like he's got just a pelt tied to his back. So I think they don't really have much of a choice, but it does suck. Don't like it. Alright, for the head, you do get a double ball peg in there, so I like that. And then the neck, let's get this out of the way. The neck itself looks atrocious, and I don't really know why they did it that way. I can't really figure it out. It doesn't make sense to me. Does it move? Yes. Is it supposed to move more? I don't know. It has almost no range, so it can lean back some, but it gets gappy and weird, and so you want to just push it forward. And so it can lean forward some. Maybe that's... I don't know. It leans forward a little bit more, I guess. And then side to side, there's like a little wiggle, but that's it. So I don't know what's going on with that neck. It's pretty goofy looking and doesn't really offer much. So that's weird. But luckily, the head is on a double ball peg, so you'll be able to move the head around pretty well, regardless of the neck. So I would just get that neck into a spot that doesn't look ridiculous and just leave it there, because it's really, really weird. Now, if you think that's really, really weird, wait till I show you these shoulders. I don't know what Bandai was thinking here. I think I have to get it a little bit brighter so you can see that black. It'll wash out the other stuff, but we're looking here. So focus here. They're flat. The shoulders are completely flat. There's nothing in here. We just have a tiny little ball hinge. It's still not enough for you to see. Can I rotate it? Will that help? Yeah, there you go. Something about this guy, even when I was looking at it with my naked eye, I guess it's the flat paint. It's just like looking into the abyss. You can't see anything in there, but you just get a little tiny ball hinge on a ball peg with a giant flat shoulder, kind of the way Revoltech does it, but it's not good. It's really ugly, and you don't really get much out of it. So yeah, you can move the shoulder around in the socket, but to what end? I don't know. Like, there's no real benefit to it. He can't bring the arm across his chest. So I don't understand why they did all of that. To bring the arm down like that doesn't make any sense, because then there's just a big cavity back there. I don't get it. It looks fine in the neutral. His shoulders look normal. But when you go to use him, other than just bringing it forward, but even then you get this big flat faceted thing back here. It's weird. It's so weird that they did it that way. I don't see any real reason to. And you don't gain anything useful. Like I don't get it. Very, very strange shoulders. It's the same on both sides. So that is a big bummer. Alright, for the bicep swivel, it's fine on this side. But on this side, they didn't, do the sculpt. Instead of putting some of the sleeve on the bicep, I guess we still need it brighter. Instead of putting some of the sleeve on the bicep and letting the whole thing rotate around, you just have a cut joint. Like the old school action figure cut joint, so the arm sticks out from the sleeve. So it looks pretty cheap. I love the sculpt of the arm. It looks wonderful. I like that they have the joint kind of hidden in the sculpt, but the bicep swivel is not great. Double jointed elbow does work nice enough, though. It's not great. It looks good, but it doesn't have tons of range. I think it's enough. Ball hinge wrist is standard. That's good. The robot arm, you do get your bicep swivel. You get your joint, which works well enough. I mean, good range, good enough, and you get your wrist here. The fingers are articulated, probably not as well as they could be, but at this size and price point, I think it's fine. You get one hinge, not counting the main knuckle, so this is just sculpted like this. Then you get this hinge and then down here. They're fine. It's good enough. Making a fist it's a little iffy, but it'll do. Alright, for the torso, not that it matters, because like I said, he can't stand. So he's going to be in mostly the kind of pose I had him in, or like a really dynamic one where you can just get him balanced on the stand. But it's going to be annoying, guys. It's so annoying to pose this guy. For his lower waist, and I guess his upper one too, it's just a couple of ball pegs. They're too loose though. Like, it's enough to hold that, but it's definitely not enough to hold anything with the upper body because the cape is just too heavy. I guess that one spot's holding pretty well, but he doesn't like to stand properly. It's not the torso that's the main problem. It catches in enough spots that I guess it would be okay, but wait till we get down to the hips. So his torso does have ball pegs with decent range in them, but be aware of the cape. See, there you go. That's what I was talking about mostly. You'll find some spots where it'll hold, but just a basic crunch, it's not going to work. All right, okay, and then this is a floating piece, so that's nice, but his hips, they pop off way too easily, and they're not tight enough. They're very loose ball pegs. They look good. They have functionally enough range, I would say. You just flex that. He can kick up to horizontal, so that's okay. Doesn't look bad at all. Going out to the side, plenty. Like, it's not full splits, but you can get decent range out of him, so that's okay. But this is way too loose. Like, it's not even close to strong enough to holding him up. Not even a little bit. So you're going to have to try to get all of the cape weight either directly above him or being supported by something else. You do get a thigh swivel, so that's good. The legs do go back and forward. They have good range. The knees look really nice. Fully sculpted knees like I've been talking about for ages. And it looks so much better than when they don't. Like, holy crap, hold on a second. I have to bring this out because I'm angry. How come... or I guess I should say why, like an intellectual, why can we get fully sculpted knees on this guy, but this guy has to look like he's made out of Lego? Like, what is that? Why? Why is that necessary to get 90-degree bend? Don't tell me it's the baggy pants. His pants, because he's a smaller scale, are basically just the same size as this guy's knee, so they can do the same type of joint. I don't know what Bandai's up to lately, but I feel like they're trying to upset me. So the knees are pretty wonderful, honestly. You get a little rotation in there, but I think that's not really intentional. Don't need a boot swivel, because you have this big old ball hinge down here, which gives you plenty of range all the way forward, all the way back. It's amazing how when you have a ball hinge that's the right size, it actually works really well. And then you get a wonderful ankle rocker, no problems there at all. And then the toe joint is decent, nothing special. So, like, this guy's almost good, but they did weird stuff. The shoulders are janky as hell. If you can look past that, the rest of it's decent, other than the joints are too loose, and he has this giant heavy cape. So he's nowhere near as bad as some of the other ones, but he's nowhere near as good as he should be. It does look good. Anyway, the articulation I'm going to give, because of the looseness, only a 5 out of 10. Way too many loose joints for a figure that really shouldn't have had loose joints at all. But functionally, if they weren't loose, I think he'd be good enough other than the shoulders. The shoulders and the neck are pretty jacked up. But I could look past it if the other joints were tight, but I can't. So his articulation is not going to get a good rating. But time for the final rating on this guy. At least he looks really good. He looks great. So if you can get him in some kind of pose that the display stand helps him to stay in, then it's going to look good on a shelf. But these are action figures. We should be able to pose them, not just pose them once and never touch them and pray that he doesn't fall. So, I don't know. If you're going to lean heavily into the aesthetic, you could give this guy a 7. If you're going to lean into the practicality of it, probably a 6. So, I'm going to stay 7 because he does look really good. But the practicality of it is he's going to be very hard to stand, especially for long term. And in a dynamic pose, it's probably going to be just ridiculously tedious and annoying. So it's unfortunate. He's not the worst in the line, but he's still not where this line needs to be, if you ask me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but that's it for me. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down, and if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.